Well, hello everyone. How are you all doing today, tonight, whatever time you're doing, whatever time it is. It's nighttime here in Florida, and it is day number 3 of Mermaid, and the prompt that I did for today was coral. So I tried to go a little more simple today than, well, I went kind of simple yesterday too, but I'm trying to go simple all around now. I realized that some of the things I wanted to do, as far as time-wise, I think I might have not given myself enough time in a day to be able to do some of the original drawings that I kind of want to do, because I did my prompt list and I kind of did like little thumbnails and did little ideas of everything I wanted to do for every prompt. But I've decided, after finding out it's going to take me a little longer to do each piece, I decided to kind of go a little more simple on each design. So with this one, I just kind of went with a mermaid, just kind of, sitting there with some really nice coral in the background behind her. And I kind of wanted to go fairly simple with her design, but then I kind of ended up getting a little frilly with it instead. And that ended up taking me a little more time than I thought it would. And then, of course, the coral. It's like, oh, I'm just going to do this simple red coral. And then, of course, I decided to take a little more time with the detail in that than I had really planned on. And so this piece took me a little longer than I thought it would. Thank God I kind of started it yesterday, last night. That way, I kind of had a little bit of a head start this morning. I might try and do that again tonight, depending on how much time I have left and how speedy I get this video done. But I will say that I am getting a little bit more comfortable with the watercolor and kind of figuring out the best way to work with it. Still not completely there, but it's all a learning process. I can't tell you how hard I looked at my markers today and thought, does this really have to be in watercolor? I mean, they don't have to be in watercolor. I could use markers. But I really want to get better with watercolor, so I'm just gonna force myself until it gets, unbearable. It's not unbearable yet. I actually, like I said, I felt a little bit more comfortable using them today. I did a little more detail on the coral, and I think, like, had I tried to do that yesterday or something, I probably would have spent a couple extra hours more. So it is getting a little bit easier using the watercolor. I'm still not exactly, 100% comfortable with it, which probably won't ever be 100% comfortable with it, because I'm still not even 100% comfortable using a pencil a lot of the times. I've been using a pencil since I was a little kid, so that may never happen, but I'm going to try my best to stick with watercolor all throughout Mermaid. And I want to give a shout out to Tremor's art, because she did a piece today using the prompt coral as well, and her piece was super cute. So I will leave a link to her video and to her Instagram if you would also like to go check out her page and her channel. She does speed lapse digital art, so if you like digital art, or if you are curious about digital art and like to see how that goes, check out her channel. She does really cute stuff. Gotta say, I love how that piece turned out with all the different coral in the background, and your mermaid is super cute. It's so funny because I wanted to do that too, all the different coral, and then of course I decided I probably should stick to the easiest type of coral there was. So I definitely loved seeing that in your piece, and all the little fishies swimming around. That was great too. So if you want to check out her page, like I said, I will go ahead and leave a link in the description part of this video. That will bring you right over to that. And I also want to give a shout out to Harriet too. She is working on some of the prompts for Mermaid, and she did the one with Seahorse. I don't think her video for that one's up today, but she did the video for Geode the other day, and that one is up. So if you'd also like to check out her channel, it's Mafania's Studio, and I will leave a link down in the description also for her Instagram and her YouTube if you would also like to check out her art. It is super cute as well. And she does the traditional art, typically, usually watercolors and colored pencils. So yeah, you should check that out too, because she does some really great stuff. And I think I might have forgotten to introduce myself in this video. I'm not positive, but if this is the first time you are visiting my channel, my name is Erica, and I do some art videos. Sometimes I throw some other things in there, but it's mostly just art videos. And typically, I would only upload a video once a week. But since as far as art challenges go, this is my favorite time of year because Mermaid is my favorite art challenge. Even though I haven't known it very long, I tried to do it last year and I did not succeed. I ended up only getting about 6 days in and then throwing in the towel. But I am definitely going to fully do it this year, even if it possibly takes me a little longer than May. I'm really hoping it doesn't. I don't know though, because now with the whole, not sure about the watercolor taking as long as I thought it was going to, but like I said, that's kind of gotten better. So I really plan on doing every day this month, and hopefully I'll get my videos done a little sooner in the day, but yeah, unfortunately those only get done as soon as I'm done with the art, so until the art's done, there's no video for it. But I think I will possibly maybe get this one done a little sooner than the last two were. The last two were kind of late in the day. Actually, they were probably this morning and yesterday morning that they technically went up. So one thing I'm not really possibly sure I'm doing right when I do these pieces is getting the paper really wet before I put the color down. Now I will say I love the way it looks when it spreads out, but I don't really know if I'm getting the right look I want. And that's another problem with the, well, I shouldn't say, that's another struggle that I'm kind of going through with these watercolors is I want it to look a certain way, and because I'm not exactly sure what I'm doing here, it's not looking the exact way I want it to. So that kind of makes it a little hard for me working on it. I mean, I'm not going to stop, of course. I'm going to finish them and do them to the best that I can do it and make it look as close to the way I wanted it to look as possible. But yeah, I definitely think I need to absolutely figure out maybe a better way to do some of these coloring. So I'll try something maybe a little different tomorrow when I do tomorrow's mermaid, see how that works out. Like I said, I really love the way that bleed looks when you put the color down over the wet paper, but I just don't think I'm doing what I want it to do, or it's doing what I want it to do. And I've seen a lot of people use watercolors. I watch people use watercolors. Like I said, Harriet uses watercolors, and there's I watch Margaret Morales. Some of her YouTube videos, she uses watercolors. You would think with as much videos as I've watched people using watercolors, that I would kind of, you know, maybe know a little more than I do, but apparently just watching them doesn't mean that I necessarily have got it figured out, obviously, because I kind of was hoping for a little bit, I guess, different outcome sometimes with these. Not that I'm really unhappy with the way it's turned out, because I do like the way they've turned out. They just didn't turn out exactly the way I wanted them to. So yeah, that's all. And like I said, I'm really going to cut back from a lot of the detail that I wanted to do. Like, for instance, this piece, I was kind of looking to do something a little more detailed with like the little fishies swimming in there and a bunch of different kind of corals. But again, with the whole color issue, I'm also trying not to use too many different shades of different colors. That way I don't have to do a lot of different mixing of colors, because that is another thing is, you know, with the markers, they're there and ready to use in a ton of different colors. But with the watercolors, I do have a few, quite a few different colors to choose from, but I still have to mix a lot of them to get the different colors I want. So that is another thing that's a little time consuming. So yeah, that's about it that I've learned so far with Inktober. Is I'm definitely going to have to cut back the detail on the drawings, and I probably will try not to talk about that anymore because I think I've over-talked that issue at this point. And I have to laugh because somebody put it in the comments, Martian Attacks put in my comments that I seemed to be put a lot of pressure on myself. And it's funny because I really think sometimes I don't put enough pressure on myself. Like, I should really be doing better. I mean, really, I'd like to get these pieces finished by maybe 4 o'clock and then have my video edited and the audio done by, I don't know, like maybe 7 o'clock so I can get the video up hopefully by 9 o'clock, but unfortunately that hasn't worked. So, I mean, I'm pretty happy. I mean, I shouldn't say, I probably sound like I'm complaining a lot, but I'm just kind of thinking through things, I guess, mostly, because I am very happy that I still haven't fallen behind. So even though my video may not make it the right day, my art is still making it the right day, if you kind of understand what I'm saying there. So yeah, I mean, I put in some pressure on myself, but I'm also, not going to beat myself up if I get too far behind or if I fall behind or anything like that. But I am definitely going to try to push forward and, make watercolors work for me. It can be like that saying, with social media, use social media, don't let social media use you. I'm going to use watercolor. I'm not going to let these watercolors use me. I'm going to figure it out. And off comes the tape, and I actually forgot some. I mean, I've been kind of trying to put the tape in there. I don't know if that's something people like or not. I love when people tear the tape off of things. And I will say that sometimes when I watch videos and somebody starts to tear the tape off, but then they like cut out before it's all done, that kind of upsets me just a little bit. So I feel like I want to see all of the tape get ripped off. So that's why I sometimes throw those in there. Sorry if that's not something you like to watch, but I enjoy it, so they end up in there sometimes. Oh, and that also reminds me of the tape in particular. The tape I use for putting on the watercolor paper is actually a 3M tape, and it's for delicate stuff. So I noticed that when I was using, like, I had blue tape and then I had some tan masking tape, and sorry about all that noise if you can hear that. It's just the traffic, and I don't know what's going on with that, what kind of horn that was, but it was really loud. So anyway, the tape I get is 3M masking tape for delicate stuff, and it's like a purple color. Obviously, you can see that in the video. And I will say that that has worked the best for me so far, because I did have a couple of times issues with the tape wanting to tear my paper, and yeah, that was kind of upsetting. So definitely the purple tape is so much better on paper. So alright, I want to thank everybody so much for sticking in and watching today's video, and I want to give a big shout out to all of my subscribers. You guys are amazing and you rock, and I appreciate you so much for sticking around and watching my videos and listening to me ramble on. So I will talk to everybody in tomorrow's video. Thank you again so much for watching. Alright, I love you guys. Have a good evening or morning. Bye.